Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yoho, Mitakiape, Eva Cordovi, Machiape, Malakotan, Tas Pueblo. My Dama is Joseph Quintilla Cordova. My Ina or my Ka is Patricia Crow Cordova. I'm sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud, and I'm so happy to be here and to interact and to be alongside these amazing individuals. I'm going to go ahead and have them introduce themselves, starting with Christine right here.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I kind of just woke up and went, so that's why this is all that's happening. My name is Justine. I am Navajo, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee, and I'm happy to be here today. Pass it to Jen.
Skigtash, Ani Napchikik, Jennifer Varenchuk, Ani Tohono Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer. I'm from the Tohono Nation, and I'm coming to you from the occupied Kingdom of Hawaii and the city of Kaneohe.
I am Navajo, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee. Oh, that's me.
Thank you, guys. I always like to recognize where I'm coming from too. So I'm coming from, not zooming in. I'm logging in from I'm a visitor on the Snow Mountain Paiute lands, which is also known as Las Vegas, Nevada, northern Las Vegas, Nevada. So thanks, guys, for being here. That's it. That's all I have.
Okay, good show. See you next time,
guys. That's all. Bye. So let's just share what this is and how it got started and what we're going to talk about today. Does that sound good?
It sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Somebody want to talk about it?
I nominate you to talk about it.
Okay, first of all, I want to say it's so good to see you guys, and I don't know why I'm nervous. It's been like a couple of months since we've all been here together, so I'm just really thankful that you guys are here. We prayed before we got on, so hopefully, it's gonna all be good. It's gonna be a good visit. It's gonna be fun and laughs. Ooh, Jen, with your hair, you go, girl. So good morning, everybody. As we all introduced ourselves and are coming together to talk, to engage, to laugh, to have fun. This is, I guess, a show called Sissy, Unci, and Aunties. So Sissy being a sister, Unci meaning grandmother in my Lakota language, and Aunties because we all have those aunties that you can turn to, or that you can't turn to, or that make you laugh, or all kinds of things. So this is a show that we, not necessarily a show, but I guess it is a show, but how we thought of it was just coming together and listening to each other, supporting each other, and also just understanding each other, even if our opinions or our voices aren't the same. So we just want to say thanks, guys, for checking in and watching. We're here until 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's what makes this what it is. This is like our third show, third or fourth. I think so. Yeah. So it's been a long time coming, and I always say this, it's just been a thought, and sometimes a thought are bigger things than just a thought, and that's it. So I'm gonna ask the girls how they are, and we'll go from there. So how are you, Jen?
I'm doing really well, thank you. So time-wise, I am happy to report that I was way ready for this because I thought it was at 9 o'clock my time, and it's 10 o'clock my time. So I was like up and ready at 9 o'clock. And then I found out that I was early. So I got some work done in that hour. And I put on my face for everybody. So this is me with makeup on. Well, not foundation, but I did my eyes and I did some lipsticks, and that's a lot for me. So I'm feeling pretty good. I have a really busy day today. After this, I have a webinar, and then I'm going to see a play tonight. So I'm excited because, my Saturday is off to like a good start. The end.
What play are you gonna go see tonight?
I believe it's called Tiny Beautiful Things. But it stars the husband of a woman that was in my short film In Our Own Hands. So her husband is one of the main actors in this play. So she asked all of us, the women that were in the short film, she sent us a text and she was like, do you want to come see this play and support? And we said, all right. So we're going to have a reunion.
How fun.
It should be fun. Yeah. It's very COVID. Like, we got our instructions from the theater yesterday, where, no food, no drinking, wear a mask, fill out contact form, take your temperature, and leave once the play is over. Like, once the play is over, you got to exit the theater. I was like, oh, okay. So there's no meet and greet or anything afterwards. But that's okay, because I'm just happy to get out of the house, like, to do anything personally.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'll go next.
Okay.
How am I doing today? It was a wild week for me. I felt I was on this wild roller coaster, which I said you could tell by my setup for today. And I guess I've had a major transition in my life this past week, and it was a really hard decision. And I'm sure we'll get into it later, talking about like transitions and different points and everything. But I think for me, I don't know. I came prepared not to talk about it, but like it was something major. And I left my job, and I don't know what's next for me. And that's just kind of like scary in the unknown. So we'll see. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here and having the energy to be here, because I'm at one point, like, my energy is really drained. So it's good to be here, and I'm happy to be here. And other than that, my Saturday started off great. I started cleaning things that I needed to clean throughout the week. And then I went to Costco to get mini dog food. So that is my morning.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for sharing. And sometimes we feel like we don't want to talk about something, but if the time is right and you feel like it, then sometimes it's good to let it out. If not, do it when you're ready. So that's what I always say. I don't always say that. I said that right now. I don't know why I said but
always saying, when you're ready, talk about it.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Okay, so my morning, I got up. I usually, for the past like 3 months, have to get up early because I watch my grandkids, my tokoshas, and they wake up super early, like by 7:30 or 8:30, and that's not the norm for me. Before 3 months, because I've been here for 3 months. But today I woke up like at 9:30 or 10. And I was like, la la la, I'm just gonna take my time, which I did. I played a little bit of ball catch with my 2-year-old granddaughter, Sissy. And then I fed her and we ate together and then got ready for this. So it's been a leisurely morning, which I enjoy. And I am thinking of like, how can we go outside? Because it's a nice day outside. In Vegas, it's usually really hot, but for whatever reason, it's cold, and it was raining yesterday. So I just want to be able to take her out. But her dad took her for a walk today with the dog. And hopefully we'll get out later. We got these kites for the kids for Easter a while ago, and I've been wanting to take them. It's so windy here. I've been wanting to take them to the park. So windy that the other day, this above ground pool that we had almost flew over the fence in 45 to 50 miles per hour wind. And oh my gosh, it was crazy. But that's my day. Talking about all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, but that's my day.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I didn't, and here's the thing too, when you have like this thing in your mind that says just do something because you need to do it. Well, that's what I thought. I said, we should weigh these down with something because it's going to be windy and it doesn't have any water. And then we thought, oh no, it's going to only be the wind is only going to be 20 miles an hour. So we didn't. And then we came home, and luckily we came home because my grandson needed to use a restroom. We were going to go to the park. We came home and he was all, Grandma, my pool is on the next door neighbors. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, anyways, that's my story.
Wait, okay, so it was your pool.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was your neighbor's pool that came. No, it's your pool that went to their house. So
yeah.
Is it broken now, or can you still use it?
No, we could still use it. Luckily, nothing broke on it, nothing ripped. And that was my fear, is because I was trying to pull it down, but it was stuck on the neighbor's shed. And I didn't want it to rip because it was only me in the beginning. And I was like, I couldn't pull it. And I called my daughter and I was like, the pool's over the fence in the neighbor's yard, la, la, la. And she's like, it's okay. I have insurance on it. So I was like, okay. So yeah, we were able to get it back over the other side.
So then I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You said that there was something in you that told you to weigh it down, but you didn't do it. Like what happened that you didn't listen to your inside?
The news said that it was only going to be 20 miles an hour, and then they ended up, the winds, Mother Nature did her own thing, and it went up to like 45 to 50 miles an hour, so double of what it was. So I thought we would be okay, but my intuition said I should do it, and I didn't. So yeah, I just need to trust my intuition.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me before, where I know I should do something and then I go and I don't listen to myself, and then I go and do it, and then I end up saying I should have just done that.
Yeah. I'm sure we're both shaking our heads because I'm sure we each have our own examples of not listening, which I do too. So it's like a hard lesson, right? But
yeah,
that's part of life, I guess.
Yeah. So that's it. That was my day yesterday, and that's how my day is going today. So it's a beautiful day. It's a great day.
Yeah, thank goodness. You have insurance, and nobody was there when it happened.
No, just me and the kids.
Yeah, so, no, I mean, like, no one was hurt.
Yeah, nobody was hurt. And Eli, so the pool ladder was inside the pool, but the pool flipped over into the next person's yard. So the ladder was laying on the floor. I was thinking like Wizard of Oz, where you see things floating in the air. And Eli's just like, he stood up the ladder and he's all like looking like around. I was laughing. I'm like, get down from there, you're gonna get hurt. But luckily the neighbor popped her head over the fence and was like, do you want me to come help you? And I was like, yes, please. So she lives around the block. She came, and I've never met that neighbor before. And actually she came and she helped us so much. And then after, she was like, if you ever need anything, here's our number, give us a call. and we can come over. Somebody's always home because somebody has to watch the kids. So it was actually a great way to meet the neighbors. But here's the thing too that I've been talking about. I did a workshop for some youth about healthy relationships. And I was like, how many of you know your neighbors? Like, how many of you really know the people that live around you or live nearby you to support you if anything were going to happen? And not a lot of them did. But like back in the day, we used to play with all our neighbors in the street. So we knew like, I'm going to go to Dawn's house and she lived like right next door, or Paul right next door, or Brandy across the street. So now it's just that neighbor, this neighbor, the other neighbor. Yeah. That was my long introduction.
We were the same growing up too. We knew all neighbors, and we would all like, if one of us was when we were kids, me and my brothers, if one of us was at their house like at lunchtime, their moms would feed us. If they were at our house, although no one ever wanted to eat at our house because my mom was like a health person and nobody liked that she didn't serve like Cheetos or Oreos or Coke or anything like that. So, or Wonder Bread. So no one ever wanted to eat at our house, but we loved eating at everyone else's house because we got to get all that like stuff that we never got at home. But anyways, yeah, if we were like everyone knew each other. And then when I lived at in Van Nuys, I knew my neighbors. Not all of them, but I knew enough of them to like, feel safe, I guess, or like neighborly. But here we only know one neighbor, and then we don't have another neighbor because they moved, and I'm cheerful about that because we didn't get along with them. What about you, Teen? Do you get along with your neighbors?
I've been living here, like I know them, but I don't really interact with them. So it's not like hanging out at their house or anything like that. So I definitely know my neighbors. One of them I definitely avoid because it's gonna take up some time. When that's a neighbor that gets to know everyone on the block. Like if something happens, you just go, he's gonna be out there. But I think when I got to know my neighbors also a lot more is when my car got hit in front of my house. And yeah, it was a big fiasco. It got hit. The guy took off. Another neighbor went to go and catch him, brought him back. He got arrested and there was a gun in his car. And I was like, oh, dang. And we're all there for the drama, right? And I never... He didn't have insurance. I didn't hear from his insurance. So like that sucked for me. So I was like, darn it.
No.
I just wish someone would have stole it instead of just hitting it. Like it cost me money for that. Just keep it. But yeah, I think that's when we kind of all got to know each other, see who's our neighbors and stuff. But I think I feel like this is the longest I've been somewhere since I've graduated from DU. So it's kind of nice, like, to consistency, because before I was just kind of in and out, not really knowing my neighbors. But now I do. It's cool. I at least know the names or know them, especially when I walk Minnie a lot. Walking Minnie definitely helps me kind of. Minnie's my dog, my German Shepherd. Helps me recognize who else walks their dog or who lives where and stuff. Mm-hmm. But none of that. Oh yeah, like. Growing up, I never played outside with neighbors. That's something. Yeah. I lived in an apartment complex, and the apartment complex was full of my cousins, so that's how we would play outside. We knew each other, but like going on the block, no. And it's funny because just the other day, I asked my niece, I'm like, "Do you play outside?" And then she's like, "No, why would I do that?" And I'm like, "You play outside probably on your Sims game. You know how like Sims, you like make a life." And that's probably how she knows it. But yeah, that's my long story for I kind of know my neighbors.
I feel kind of sad that she said, why would I do that? Because like it's a total changing of time, like things are so different now. I mean, part of it also is because things are not as safe as they were before. But I mean, a whole generation is more comfortable inside than outside. Whereas like my generation growing up, like we couldn't wait to go outside. And like we totally, like the big thing on my block was kickball. We would play kickball because we had like I lived in a cul-de-sac, and it just like lined up perfectly that like the sewer lid was like the perfect home base because of the way that the street was lined. And so we would have like, anyways, we just had a perfect like baseball diamond already like made for us, but in the middle of the street. So we would either play baseball or kickball, something having to do with like, you know, where we could use that our street, the coincidental diamond. But it was great. It was great. Like, and we were so, like, I remember sometimes I would see them, it's the kids on the block, like playing. And then I'd be like, oh, I could go out there if I want. And I know I could play, or I could be like, I'm just going to stay inside and watch the Brady Bunch. That was my thing. I like the Brady Bunch back then. I mean, I guess I would. Is it even still on? I don't even know if it's still on. No, it's not on anymore. Okay. Well, that was my thing back in the day. I would watch.
I'm sure it's on somewhere.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Quick shout out to Christina Fiore. Thank you for checking in. I just recently purchased some earrings from this amazing beater, baker, all around amazing individual. So hit her up at her IG store, or she's a small business, and it's always good to support small businesses. So thanks for being here, Christina. Hi, Denise Williams, who lives, I believe, in Oregon. Denise Williams is an old member of the LA Indian community. Her kids grew up in different dance programs, and they're so grown now. Now that I see them on Facebook, it's so amazing to see how grown they've become. So shout out to Denise as well. Okay, so we have a question. If there's questions that you have that you might want to ask us, then put them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them. But we did come up with some questions of our own. And Jen, do you want to propose those questions? Because I don't have my phone with me.
Oh. Okay, yeah, sure. So I'm just going to go off of memory, which is the first one that I remember is, do you mark in any way, or do you celebrate or acknowledge the changing of the seasons in your life? I know a lot of tribes had ceremonies to, you know, acknowledge the changing of the season. We, you know, also have the winter solstice and the summer solstice, where lots of other well, I guess indigenous groups, but not just here on North America or South America, but like globally, different groups of people would really celebrate that day, the summer solstice or the winter solstice. So my question is, do you do that in any way, small or large, in your life? And I guess my thinking is, you know, we were talking about spring and spring cleaning, and then it just kind of got me thinking about the changes of the season. And I don't recall growing up really, it wasn't like instilled in my household at all, other than we would for September, like fall, I knew that it would change because of like we had to change our clothes, like for going back to school. and also like we wouldn't be able to play outdoors as much. And the street lights, they would come on earlier than before, or it wasn't earlier. It's just that the daylight savings time. And that's really like I just remember that. But I don't ever. I mean, we celebrated all the different holidays during those seasons. Easter during the spring, and Mother's Day and Father's Day, like summertime and 4th of July, all the different holidays we would celebrate. But as I've gotten older, I've started to create like my own personal acknowledgement of like changing of season. So I'm just curious about you guys, ladies.
For me, I don't think that we in my family acknowledge the changing in Los Angeles or where we grew up. I know people do spring cleaning and different types of cleaning. I can't remember. Maybe like back home, like when my daughter and myself, when we started our moon or our female cycle, we had a ceremony, that type of changing. But I don't think any, or like graduation, birthdays, we would celebrate, but not small milestones. I don't remember doing. But I think that that's something that is a good topic to talk about, because acknowledging the change of seasons in your life is big. I mean, but how do we do that? And that's, I think, the thing that we were talking about too, whether it be transition from leaving a job or transition from moving to a different city, or even sometimes there's relationships that we leave, or that we no longer need in our chapter of that life. So how do I acknowledge it or celebrate it? Sometimes I don't. I just keep on moving. And that may be similar to, not similar. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, that's what I have to say. Scene.
What about you, Teen?
Like traditionally, no. Like from our tribes and practices, no. Like we don't. Not that they don't acknowledge the seasons, but in my family we didn't practice it. Growing up in LA, but like similar, like to what Jen said, like acknowledge. I think I knew the main. I think for me, acknowledging of the season, which it's weird but very common, is the time change. So like how in California we did the time changes, like I always went, okay, now it's gonna get darker earlier, so now I gotta, days are shorter. And then also when it changed, when does it usually change? In April, right around Easter time. So I think those are like the two major markers. And then again, my grandma, who is from grew up in Wisconsin out in Menominee, she would tell me all the time. She's like, I'd be like, oh, the season's changing. And she's like, oh, you guys don't have no seasons here. She'd be like, and she's like, in Wisconsin, we had 4 seasons. You guys really have 2 seasons here, fall and spring. Like, that's just it. Like, you don't have a winter. You really have a summer. I think we do now. But she just acknowledged that, like, and then like from that moment on, I was just like, maybe we do only really have 2 seasons here to acknowledge in California specifically. But I think I do want to start practicing it a little bit more, of the acknowledging it. I think as I'm getting older though too, I want to practice that, just to also see what my mood is in that type of day. So maybe I could just look back in the journal, because I journal a lot too, and look back like how my mood are those certain days or when it's changing. Like I kind of just want to capture that information for myself to see, like, am I in a good state of mind usually around this time? Like, I don't know, that's something. I know some people experience season change with like what did I say? like through allergies, right? Like that's another marker. Like, I think for me, when I knew it was getting cold, I would get eczema during the time too. So those are like, oh, okay, I have to start buying more lotion during this time. So, and then it doesn't help that marketing is really good right now to keep you on track with the season. So like when you're going to Target and you're like, why is this there? You know, like Target just is already prepared for you to acknowledge that season change. But were to like fully acknowledge it, no, or to do any like traditional practices, maybe I can start with a prayer or something.
That's interesting. I also used to get, or still do, but not as much, eczema in the winter. And I didn't know what it was. And actually, when I moved to LA from the Bay Area, I experienced a lot of changes in my body, like physically. Like I started getting allergies, breaking out in hives, and I hadn't like experienced that growing up. And I had to go to the doctor, and they did the allergy test, and they're like, you are allergic to grass and dairy. And I was like, I grew up on a soccer field, like playing outside, like, and I never broke out in hives, like never. And I would always drink back then, I would always drink a glass of milk with my dinner. And again, like a full on like glass of milk. Like right now, thinking of that, it's like, ugh, like I don't do that anymore. But like back then, like, so it's weird. And the doctor said it was something having to do with the smog, the chemicals with my body. Yeah, it changed my body. So, but yeah, I think as I get older, kind of like what you said, Justine, like wanting to start to like incorporate that more, not just on like physical things like spring cleaning or I don't know, like changing of wardrobe, although I don't really do that here anymore, because now in Hawaii, it's like you pretty much wear the same thing like all the time. There's no, like in LA, I would have like sweaters or jackets that I would use. And I, at that, when summertime came, I would like pack them up and put them away in the back of my closet, and then bring them out, once it started to get cold. And that's how I would know, like, okay, well, that and like pumpkin lattes or whatever, pumpkin, I don't know, the spice thing. You guys know what I'm talking about.
And like that marketing, I'm telling you, marketing and knowledge is for us.
Like, oh, it's fall time again. Okay, yeah. I get it.
I mean, Starbucks acknowledged it, right? When they changed their cups.
They do.
That's funny. I haven't been going to Starbucks or like coffee shop because I haven't drank coffee in a year, coming up in June. So that's a big thing for me. But what I did find recently when we went to, my granddaughter asked for orange juice. So there's a Dunkin' Donuts on the corner. So I was like, okay, let's go get some orange juice when we were going to get my grandson from school. And I saw that they had a matcha latte, and I ordered it, and that's my new favorite. Oh my God, it's so good. So no more coffee, but matcha latte is amazing. I think that
I was gonna say I'll have to try it. There's not a Dunkin' Donuts close, but there is one that I found the other day, and I was like, aha, I'll have to remember that there's a Dunkin' over here. So I'll try it.
And with light ice, because Starbucks and ice, and it just gives you more of that drink with light ice.
Oh wait, you're drinking it at Starbucks? I thought you were talking about Dunkin' Donuts.
No, I'm talking about Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm saying to get it with light ice, because when you put a lot of ice, it takes away from the drink itself. That's what I'm saying. Have you seen those TikTok videos about how if you order venti, then it fills up 3 cups with ice? That's crazy. That's what I'm referring to. Okay. But Denise says that she gets excited from fruit and vegetables in season. So yeah, that's awesome.
I do. Mangoes. Oh my gosh, when mangoes are in season, That's something that I absolutely love. Watermelon. Vegetables, not so much, I don't think, for me. I mean, not that I don't like them, but I don't know. Oh, corn is a summer. I like summer and spring. Those are my favorite seasons.
Yep.
Yep. We're just full of excitement over here on this podcast.
I know. What's another question? Do we want to end with this question? Or do we want to still go into it?
I think we can move on.
Okay. If you have any questions in the chat or want us to answer your questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and say hello to Cynthia Shahey. How are you? Tell the girls I said hello, and your sons as well. Yeah. So
Hey, Cynthia. It's nice to hear from you. Thanks for listening to us, if you're still there, hopefully.
Okay. Our lives are fantastic every day.
What's another question, Avril?
Another question is, how do you get through your day when you're going through something hard?
I'll let Tini answer that.
Because that was every day this week. I think as I reflect on this past week, when going through something hard, how do I get through the day? It's very interesting. So for sure, like I always mention, I'm huge on therapy. But for me, kind of going along what we're talking about, acknowledging like just different times and like acknowledging how you're feeling stressed or acknowledging when, doing something like that. I think there's one thing that really stands out when I recognize these past couple of years is when I'm going through good times that I don't journal. So I usually journal every single day. But if I skip a day or if I skip a week, I recognize that there's something that's bothering me and that I don't want to talk about. And I don't want to put it to paper because maybe I don't want to acknowledge it. So throughout this whole year, I probably journaled like 5 or 6 times or 7 times, but I'll take my journal with me everywhere, like just like look at it. Like I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. But anyways, like going through a day when it's hard, specifically like this week is, I should have journaled. I didn't have the energy to journal, but I knew that I was going through a rough time. So I think some of the things that I really did is, or have been doing, has been watching a lot of Marvel movies. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I just back to back been watching Marvel movies, take my mind off of things. And I've been eating a lot of my favorite foods, comfort foods. Like I had ceviche today, hot Cheetos, and a lot of crying. A lot of crying and a lot of talking in my head has been, I see that, like just talk to myself. And there's one thing, I had a coaching session this week because that was offered to me. And during that coaching session, I thought it was interesting because my therapist, I'm trying to like I don't know, say cut back on her, stop trying to rely on her so much. So like now we're meeting every 4 weeks instead of like bi-weekly. So it goes for me, it went from weekly to bi-weekly, and now we're doing like every 4 months. It's a little bit of a struggle for me. But what was I saying? Yeah. I was telling the coaching person is how do I talk through it, then talk about it. And I think that's something that I really wanted to recognize this week is like, okay, you keep on talking about this and these problems and why it's being a hard day, but how you're going to talk through it to actually get through it all. So that's one thing that I've just when it's the hard days, like how do we get like talk through it and just instead of talking about it and avoiding things and eating my favorite foods and stuff. So it's been a rough couple of days, but those are some things I've been doing through this rough time.
I
And not doing
love
my
that.
I'm not doing my hair too.
I love that. When you say about talking through it instead of talking about it, what do you like, how do you do that? How do you talk through it instead of talking about it? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think for me, I think it was breaking down the different emotions that I was feeling. Um, Talking about it, I think it was the way I kind of see it is like more like gossiping about it and not trying to
Mm,
get to a solution about it, but just like there, it's there, you know, and it's in my face. And how do I talk through this? And so I just think about recognizing like when did these hard times start, what are the answers of it, and just acknowledging all the different emotions about it. So like I guess walking step to step through my
mm,
emotions of it, and also walking like, okay, what is the outcome out of this? So what do you have to do in order to protect yourself for it, instead of just it being in your face all the time. That's what I'm talking about it when it's in my face, right? Just talking about it.
mhm,
But when it's like stopping, like actually planning through it, it's talking through it. And talking through it with like a friend or someone else. I think there's some people who ask specific questions where you're like, oh, that's a talk through it question. And I wonder how I can be that to like friends and stuff like that. Like, okay, we're talking about it, like let's talk through it. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that you're saying that because I would have never even I've never even heard that actually, or and it makes sense, you know, to not talk about to not talk about it, but talk through it. Being able to um, bring it up with somebody that you that supports you and is that person that won't judge you or won't put you down, but will listen. I really appreciate that tip because there's a lot of things in my life that bother me or um, you know that I try to deal with by myself. Sometimes I'll bring in people, but I gotta also recognize like there is a problem with it, and how do I like peacefully let it go? I think that also, you know, us talking about transition or talking about change is something that I haven't done. So being able to both acknowledge a transition and a change instead of just walking away from it and saying, oh, it's for my mental health. I can't be around that negative energy because it's my mental health. But really talking through it, like, why does it bother me? Why does it, you know, why is it a problem? And a lot of the times it's because I think for me, because I'm such a fixer, I guess you would say. Like I want to fix the problem, but within this past year, it's too much energy for me and I'm just like forget it. I don't want to even deal with it and I just like block it out of my life. You know, because it might not necessarily be my problem to fix. It's somebody else's problem, but I want to save the day and, you know, make everybody happy and everybody be happy that it bothers me somehow, but I want to let it go. But thank you for offering that, you know, talking through it instead of talking about it. That's a good one. That's it, the end.
Yeah, that's the tweet. Yeah. That's what Matt says. So I can't claim that. That's what Matt says. I just think it's really funny too.
I think also part of it is like going into it wanting to find a solution instead of like I know when I am telling someone and I'm just like venting gossiping, I guess, in a way, versus when I'm like venting because I'm trying to find a solution, like processing and trying to find a solution. And I know myself, like when I'm doing it. And so I'm trying to be really conscious of, like, I was just talking to April about this the other day that had this thing going on. And I was like telling her that it kind of feels good, to be gossipy about it, like, or complainy about it. Like, if that part, there's a part of me that feels good by letting that out, but I acknowledge that is not helping me. That's just making, that's a quick fix. That's a Band-Aid. That's just making me feel good. And I'm trying to not do that and really just focus on what you were saying, like talking through it so I can get to a resolution, as opposed to just complaining or gossiping about it. It's hard.
It is so hard. It's so hard. And it just all takes energy, right? Like, it takes energy on your end to tell a story, and you'll happily tell a story again and again, like what's wrong, you know? And I don't know if it's also a change in mindset, like what's a positive mindset and negative mindset into, like, these things. But just like what April said too, is just like the gossip, also what Jennifer said, like the gossip side, I feel like, or that complaining side is like, it's valid. And then when you go through it, going to the end of what April said, like, it's not my solution sometimes. Like, I don't have the solution. And just walk away and being okay with that walk away. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also deep. It was a rough week.
Well, I hope that you're able to, I know that you'll be able to get through it and that you'll come out stronger. I know you said you don't know what's next, but I've watched you since you were in high school, and like, I know you're amazing. So wherever you land next, whoever gets you next is going to be really blessed to have you.
Yeah, thank you. I know. I've known you for a long time. And then thinking about that, I was also like, I don't know, this is kind of weird because, like, for jobs, I felt like for me, I was always waiting for them to come to me instead of me seeking it out. And I was just like, what is the world trying to tell me? What do I need to seek out? Because I think this whole thing of waiting for jobs to come to me, like when they come across my lap, is like, it's a comfortable feeling. Yeah.
I think too, sometimes we're scared of the unknown and just taking it by whatever it is that you want to take it by. Like, also take it by whatever it is that you want to take it. I was going to say, the common phrase, take it by the horns, or the other thing, and just go with it and make it your own to be successful in whatever you do. But as a small business, as an entrepreneur, I know, and I've heard, and I personally know that we need to be happy, you need to do something that you love. And to be successful, you need to do something that you love. And instead of just going into something that you just need the money for, is okay, but it's not going to be like long term, or you really have to have passion for something for it to be flourishing. That's for me, I guess, because I do something that I love, and it has flourished, and people have come to me without me having to seek it out. But two, I think whatever it is that you want to do and wherever it is that you want to go, that you definitely have the support of us, and hire my girl, because she freaking can do all kinds of stuff. And I'm about thinking, like, how can I have you help me do stuff, just like as something, because I know, like, see, I'm already thinking, like, my wheels are turning. Let's get this girl something because she's amazing. But then too, I don't know, you might want to take a break, and just for the next couple of weeks, or for the summer, just like be able to get back in the mind frame. I know my sister, Songtree, she has been going to school and been working, and I keep telling her, do this, do that. And she was like, no, I just want to
take the break. I want to take the summer break off, you know, because I have had these papers, all of this, la la la, and I just want to take a break. So if you want to take a break, then I understand. But if you don't, girl, I have stuff that you could do for me too.
Right? Work is always there, right? And so that's
Mhm.
one thing too. And Matt's like, maybe you could take a break. And I was like, like, what? A break? Like, what is that? You can do that? Like, I've been working since like I was 15, you know, and it's just so weird, like working or going to school and everything. And so next when I have like savings to take a break, I'm like, what? Like, it's just so, it's a blessing, but also like a foreign feeling.
Mm. That's crazy. It's sort of like the pandemic when we all had to be in the home and like, oh my God, we can't do for me, it was like, oh my God, what I do? I'm used to going here, going there, going everywhere. And now I'm just stuck and I can't do anything. I think that's how I felt, you know, a lot during the pandemic. But also, you know, there's so many things that you can do, like from your weightlifting to be a personal trainer, or, you know, oh man, there's so many awesome things that I can think of for you.
Right? Like that's like the weird thing now too, because I thought like this was it. This was like my alignment with like my degree and just like my personality. Like this is it. Like, you know, and then now that that's like, oh, whoa, this isn't it. Not to say that's the end of that, but it's like, oh my gosh, but there's like a whole new thing, like that I have a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't even thought about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whole new world.
Yeah, I should just start singing that every morning now, huh?
Yeah.
That could be the title of this one, A Whole New World.
What's next?
Now that we are going back into the new normal, I know some people don't like that, but back into the world, things are opening up here in Las Vegas. As of June 1st, the world's going to open back up to normal here in Las Vegas. How do you guys feel about that? Anxiety, still wearing masks, vaccines? Like, how do you all feel about it?
I'm excited about getting back out there. I don't mind wearing a mask. That's fine with me. I'll probably still wear it like in public. I do have anxiety when it comes to seeing like large groups of people. I get like on television and whatnot, I get really anxious. Or if I see large groups of people, I'm like, no, I don't want to go over there. Even though I'm half vax, I have one shot and might get my second one next week. But even after that, it's just, I don't know. I have anxiety about it. So I don't know if I'll go to crowds, but I will go to like, I guess where I live on my side of the island, it's not as populated. There's not a lot of tourists. And so when I do go into Honolulu or Waikiki and I see like lots of people, crowded spaces, traffic, I get kind of like, ugh, I want to get out of here. Like I just want to get in, do what I have to do, and then leave. Or I try to go like off hours. But otherwise, like I don't mind if people are uncomfortable with me wearing a mask. I'm probably still gonna wear a mask. Yeah, that's me.
What about you, Teen?
I'm like, just change different notes. I don't know how I feel, and I guess that's a little like okay. I feel like I have to answer. I feel good about it, or I don't feel good about it. But I'm just going with the flow, kind of every single day. I'm vaccinated. I'm going to a Dodger game on May 29th, and I don't think I've been in a large crowded space just yet. I know I get a little bit anxious about things. So we'll see how I feel. I'll report back. But right now I don't know. I do go to the gym, and that when I first went to the gym, like throughout the pandemic, like half when it was like kind of okay, like when they like with like a less amount of people. I don't even know what the rules were. I was staying inside so bad. But I remember how anxious I was. Like I couldn't even lift. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, there's someone there. Like, and it was just really scary. And I understand that's like after like when I got to the gym, probably like the first day I was there, two more people showed up, and I was like, no, I gotta go bye. Like I just left, and it was just scary. But I think I feel a little bit more comfortable now that I'm vaccinated. Sometimes I need to dig deeper into what does that actually mean, being vaccinated. But I don't mind wearing my mask. That's why I got contacts. So due to the pandemic, I got contacts because of my mask. My glasses always fall off. But I don't mind wearing a mask, and I think I'll follow the rules of whatever are there. And if I'm not comfortable, then I'll just leave for things. Yeah.
That's interesting. I hear what all of you guys are saying, and for me, I know that like my family will be like, I can't believe they're not wearing a mask, or why are they going to large places without masks? And I'm like, you know what? I can't control the actions of other people. I just need to make sure that I can control the actions of myself, and I'm going to still wear a mask, and maybe even a mask and a shield, and that's my prerogative. And sometimes, like the other day, my grandson, he goes to school, so I was going to pick him up, and me and his sister were going in, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot my mask. And I thought maybe I should just go in because you don't have to wear a mask, and I'm vaccinated, and it would take time off. And then that intuition, I went back to my car and I got my mask and I went in. So I heard too the other day, I forgot where I was on a webinar or something, and an individual said, I wear a mask because I want my children to wear a mask and I want them to be safe too. So being a role model to her children. But I think for myself, I am vaccinated. My whole family is vaccinated, and I think that we'll continue to protect ourselves as long as we can. And for me, I think that might be a while, and until I feel safe enough, and that's okay. So, yeah. I'm excited for you to go to the Dodger game. I miss Dodger games. I'm glad that the summer's coming up and we could start like gathering outside and barbecuing and having all those good amounts of fun. I did recently travel from Vegas to Los Angeles on an airplane, and that was it was very safe, and my row and the row across from me were all empty, so I loved that there wasn't anybody sitting next to me, and it was Southwest. But I know the world's gonna open back up eventually. It's good for our economy, and I'm ready to book my flight to Hawaii.
Hey, me too.
Come on over.
And
Love
then,
to have you. That'd be great. Yeah. Because I had mentioned we're going to a play tonight, so this is like our first I guess like big event. I know that they're going to do safety protocols, and that we will be distanced because you have to get I guess you're not like all sitting in a row. It'll be like spaced out by the amount of tickets that you have. So so I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a wedding recently. That's the reason that I flew into Los Angeles. Actually, I didn't fly into Los Angeles. I flew into Burbank, which I try to avoid flying into LAX. But anyways, when I went to, and it wasn't a wedding, it was wedding reception. Let me just make sure I talk correctly. But when we went, there were people wearing masks, and when we were walking in, it was said, people aren't wearing masks, so I'm not going to wear a mask. And I was like, okay, you don't wear a mask, but I'm still going to wear a mask. And I wore a mask throughout the whole thing. And I actually felt more comfortable wearing my mask. And it didn't bother me that people were like, nobody said that actually, take off your mask or anything. And I was comfortable how I was. So yeah, big venues, just take care of yourself, yours, wash your hands if you can, take some hand sanitizer. Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's all I have.
Those are all the questions?
Those are the questions. Yeah. Do we have any other questions that you want to ask, or any questions from the audience if anybody's watching?
I'm gonna look at our chat from yesterday to see if there's any other questions. Oh, did we talk about exiting relationships?
We touched upon it.
Well, I'll say something about it.
Okay.
So as far as when it comes time to exit a relationship, and not just like a romantic relationship, but like any type of relationship, whether it's work or what I'm specifically going to talk about is like friendship. I think I'm getting to the stage in my life where I would prefer to have like a conversation about it as opposed to like just ghosting the person. In the past, that's what I would do. Like, I guess like in a way it's like breaking up with that person, with that friend, not a romantic, but like with a friend. And you're just like, I just don't want to hang out with this person anymore for whatever reason. Either something happened, you've changed, the person's changed, whatever, you just don't want to hang out with them. Then I would just like slowly like fade into the night. That's how I thought of it. It was just like, I just disappear, you know? And if they're not like chasing after you, then it's like mutual. It's like, okay, you know, you got your life, I got mine, and we're just not going to hang out as much anymore. And I think now, like, there is one friend that I could think of that I'm going to need to have. I'm on the fence. At first, it was like, okay, this person they're not going to be in my life anymore. Like, that was my mentality. Like, I didn't want to be friends with this person anymore. But time has passed and my anger has settled, and I miss this person. So now it's like, do I tell the person that they really hurt my feelings by their actions and then see if we can mend? Or do I just decide like, well, maybe I don't want to be friends with this person, and tell the person like, I'm sorry, I just don't think that we're, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like, I don't know what you say to them, but like, something to the effect of like, I just don't think this is working out. And I've appreciated your friendship and it's been great up until this point, but I don't think that going forward, I don't feel comfortable anymore. And then just kind of like seeing, where the conversation goes. But I acknowledge that I don't want to ghost this person. I don't want to just like completely fade out. I don't think that would be right. And I don't think that would bring closure. Like, as I get older, I need to have closure. So part of the closure is, having a conversation about it. And I haven't gotten to that point yet, but like that's what I'm working towards.
We'll put it out there. I'm glad you're talking about it. I have a lot of different thoughts on this topic. I think as I get older, I just don't have time and space for negative energy, and I just don't want that in my life. And for me, I've just been healing, self-care, and self-healing. So I actually, if you're not like in my inner circle, like you probably don't know what's going on with me. And I don't, for me, I think like, I don't think I need to reach out to different people to tell them what's going on in my life. They just automatically know because we talk. And, with my close friends, I don't talk with them on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes I don't talk with them for months, but in the last couple of months, I've been more of on my, like, to myself with my own issues than reaching out to individuals. And I sort of feel bad about that. I feel bad that like it's graduation season and I haven't given 200% to somebody's graduation, or I haven't reached out to people to do different things or to tell them how I am or to find out how they are. I haven't done that. And I think and I've heard like from different people, therapists included, like, we're in a pandemic, take care of yourself, but the pandemic is almost over and I'm still feeling like this. So I just think that for me, sometimes relationships, they do fade out, but then when we come back to certain areas, for me, I have a mutual respect for individuals, and I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just going to continue to go on my journey and understand that the relationships that I may have had in the past were different chapters in my life, in my book of life. So I'm moving on to the next chapter. So I don't necessarily have to have a sit down with individuals and say, this is how you hurt me. This is what I felt. And I need to end this relationship. I don't do that. I just keep going on with my own life, and that's it. That's my thoughts.
What about you, Teen?
It's funny how you say you don't badmouth people. I was like, oh, I do. Depends, right? It depends. If I feel very hurt, disrespected, I can go down that. You can't go down the road if it gets ugly, right? Like when you exit a relationship. I think I'm practicing. When you mentioned this question, like, I don't know where to start. Because I've been really thinking about how I exit relationships, not only friendships, relationships and work relationships. And I feel like lately I've been exiting before I've learned, like, when I do leave a relationship that I don't want, it usually builds up. It takes some time, right? There's some flag there, like, oh, maybe I should exit now. But you're like, no, I'm keep going. Maybe I should exit now. No, I keep going. And then you're like, whoa, I gotta exit. And I'm trying to think about, like, before I get to that moment, like, when's the right point to exit that relationship? That I even think about it. I don't know if I'm just going off right now. But for me, how I exit relationships, I think how I want to start exiting now, because I saw that question differently. How do I ideally want to really exit, and what I do in practice? And ideally, I think starting now is like, I want to make sure the person that I am exiting from, the relationship I'm exiting from, knows why. If it's that they hurt me, or if it's because I'm busy or anything like that, I just need to confront it at this moment, because I don't want to sit with that for the rest of my life, thinking I should have talked about that. For those relationships that have happened in the past, I usually just I do kind of ghost, and I do go around like, avoiding the conversation and the problem with it because of the, because you don't know how they're going to react, right? They're going to either diminish your words, or they're either going to believe you that you actually hurt them. So I think from here on out, how I want to exit relationships is making sure that the person knows why you're exiting and what went wrong. And if they accept that and they want to amend it, go from there. And if not, then just that's fine. That relationship is what it was, and that's how it's going to be. And I don't want to, gossip about people or anything like that. But sometimes it comes out, and that's just what happens. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes they get ugly. Sometimes they get really ugly. And sometimes they're just really subtle.
I think if you're talking, I guess gossiping, but like in a safe environment, like to a person that is not going to go around and like repeat what you said. But it's like sometimes you just got to get that like off our chest. You got to say what you got to say. And then depending on who you're telling it to, like if they're a friend who doesn't know anything about the situation or the person, but they're just listening to you, like that can be helpful. But also it can be helpful if you're telling it to a person who has had similar experiences or knows that person, and they can be like, that's right, that person is, a big jerk or whatever. Like sometimes that feels good too, as long as you know that like what is said will be like what's said will stay where you say it, and it won't like get out into the
feeling validated, right? I think
exactly.
the whole thing, just feeling validated that the reasons why you're exiting it's reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Here's my thing is like exiting relationships, whether it be a friendship or a work relationship or, a violent relationship. Like, when it's a violent relationship, or I don't even know that. See, I was going to say, when it's a violent relationship, you should get out. But then I think about those individuals that are in violent relationships and they're like, oh, well, they have not all of these excuses, but they have all of these reasons for wanting to stay. We have children together. We have a home together. I don't want to split up our happy home. I don't want to, take the kids away from that. But then you still are in a relationship that's violent. You're still incurring those hurts, whether it be physical, mental, violence, emotional, whatever it is, there's still some type of hurt that you're feeling. So I'm understanding what everybody's saying, but I always think about like, why is it so hard for individuals to leave a situation that they're not happy with? And there are many reasons why people don't leave violent relationships, and to each their own. But it can be, that's in the back of my head. Like, why are you going to stay in a relationship that's hurtful? That's it. The end scene.
Yeah, and I think for me personally, sometimes I stay in hurtful relationships to like its limit. Like they push me to a certain limit with my patience, and then that's when I leave. And I wish I need that limit to get a little bit more higher, like I need to raise that limit. But I recognize that limit that I have right now and exiting relationships, it should be done sooner, because I feel like I give a lot of. I was talking to Matt about this the other day. Is like Matt's level of grace and tolerance does not give out grace as much as I do. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I forgive you. And to me, I'm just like, I interpret people as really having good intentions all the time. And that's what I go in my mindset. And sometimes Matt is like, I don't know about them, like, I don't know. So it's just really recognizing that what are my, like key factors when I realize like, oh, that's harmful, like gotta get out. And then sometimes I feel sad about that. Like, I don't want to think bad about a person. I think that they have every ability to heal and that they're hurt, and that they should heal and have that opportunity to heal. And I can help that healing, but in reality, like we said earlier, it's not for me to help. Mm-hmm.
I remember once this woman that I was friends with, um, we just kind of like our lives went in different directions, and I didn't come back around. Um, and when we finally did see each other, like we ran into each other, she let me know that like basically like you can move on. Like I don't want to. I think I may have asked her to like, oh, like we should get coffee or something like that, and she was just like, no, I'm good. And although it hurt, you know, letting like her telling me like basically I don't want to be your friend anymore. Um, I had so much respect for her because she kind of like put that boundary down. Like I, you know what I mean? Like she put the boundary down and she let me know. And that was like, I was probably in my early 30s when that happened. And now I'm like, you know, just turned 50. And now I'm like, I'm going to start doing what she did like 20 years ago, you know, 15 years ago, because I feel like, I guess part of it is also because I felt bad. I imagine that if I was to do that to someone, that that person would feel bad. And I don't want to make them feel bad. But it was also like a lesson. And sometimes you have to have those negative feelings to like make sure that the lesson like gets in there. And I got the lesson, or I guess I observed the lesson, but I didn't absorb the lesson until now, like until now that I'm older. Um, and I don't know. It just, I respect her. I respect her a lot for doing that, like putting down her boundaries and just being like, I think we're good. Like, I'm good. I don't need to be your friend, even though it hurt. Should I go back to the chat and see like what other questions we had?
I was about to say I probably would have texted back. Well, I don't want to be your friend either. I really didn't want coffee.
Oh, the worst part was this is in person. It wasn't through chat.
I would have been like, oh, I was just kidding. I didn't feel like coffee either.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what? That's another question. Like, how do you deal with people that you want to be
their friend?
Yes, and they don't want to be your friend.
I mean, I think part of it is I'm not thinking of that particular situation, but I'm thinking about like I think the last time we talked, April, on this platform, we were talking about or maybe it was just I don't know, but at some point we talked about how sometimes communities can oust a person or like put, you know, like you're no longer a part of the community. I don't know what you call that, but when you like they decide that like they don't like you, I guess canceled. You're canceled. And so like communities can cancel you. And I think whether it's one person that's like canceling you or if it's a group of people, I think one thing that's really important is you have to have like a bigger picture than just that, meaning like you have to have your close people and like a really good self-care regimen, and like you just have to take care of yourself through that. Be the friend that you don't have to yourself, you know, like just do those things for yourself that that are going to make you feel good, to carry you through that phase, because when the phase is over, you know, you can go back to how you were, but like during those phases, for at least for myself, I do whatever I need to make myself to like uplift my spirit. So if that means like watching a movie in the middle of the day, that's what I'll do. If I'm eating foods that I don't normally eat, then I'll do that. If it means going for a run on the beach every day, then that's what I'll do. Like things that are going to feed my spirit and my soul and like give me uplifting feelings, then that's what I'll do. So I don't really know any other way other than to like just lean into my relationship with the creator and like know that like everything is happening for a reason. I know that's like so blah to say, but like I believe it. So I just like lean into it as much as I can, even though it's painful.
Good response. I like it. The other question that I have is adult relationships. How do you start adult relationships?
Like not dating.
Not dating.
Like
not
friendship.
dating, like friendships. Like I know that you mentioned before when we were talking, so Jen moved to Hawaii and didn't know anybody there, and her partner, you know, got a job there, and she lives in what do you call it? Paradise.
Oh.
She lives in Paradise, but she was the only one there by herself. So one of the questions too was, how do you start an adult relationship when you're in an area by yourself? Like Teeny, you went to DU. How did you start relationships there? Like, how do you join community in an area you have no connection to? That's the question.
I can go. I think for me, I think it was easier because I moved there for school, so they had like, you know, social things and everything like that. And also I'm a very social person, so it was a lot easier for me to make those friendships. But then picking and choosing, right? Like who am I really gonna stick with and who I'm not. There's just some cool people there, like that I met, and it was, I guess, just being open and willing to have those friendships, like, and not being sad that I'm at a new place. Like even when I was in Denver, like I sought out to go check out the Denver Indian Center or different events that were going on. So just really exploring a little bit and getting out of my comfort zone for that. That's just one way that I made friends as an adult. Now that I'm like, I feel like I've been in Long Beach and I'm still here and have all my friends here. I feel like I still need adult friends, like new ones. I feel like I've grown as a person. Like my friends that I had growing up, we don't have the same interests, or at least I think we don't have the same interests. But I remember I told my therapist one time, she had really good advice. She was like, "Oh, your friend." Because I haven't been reaching out to my friends because I feel like they're too busy and I don't reach out to them. And then she's like, your friends probably feel the same way about you. They probably think you're a busy person and they're not reaching out to you. So definitely just reaching out and being open. And sometimes I get scared though. I'm like, we're adults. Everyone's so busy all the time. No one wants to hang out. But now that I'm like getting older, you know what? Matt has a lot of friends and I don't. And I'm just like, I want that. Like I see him talk to his friends all day, and like play Call of Duty all the time. And so really just making that time. But I think you also have to be in a good space in order to keep those consistent friendships going. Mm-hmm.
I agree. And I remember when we first moved here, even before the pandemic, and Glenn was going to work and he would like come home and he'd be like telling me about his day and the people. And like, this was after like I was really homesick. It's like in January. And I remember just like exploding, being like, you have friends and I don't have anybody. And I realized like, of course I have people, lots of people that I can call and I can talk to. But it's like different, you know, when you can actually like meet up with people. And like I was telling Averill, it's like when I lived in Los Angeles, you know, I could call her or whoever and just be like, come on over. Like, you know, hang out or go for a swim or whatever, go get ramen, I don't know. But like here, I don't have that yet, but I feel that like it's on the horizon, and I'm really excited about that, like for myself, like to have friends, and like physical friends that I can like go and do things with, not just Zoom. Not that I don't like Zoom, because I definitely love it, and I think like I hope we as a society keep this part of the pandemic going, like we Zoom. I think that that's awesome. But like I totally understand about like wanting to have friends, and then yeah, like I have friends that are like in the Native community and that are like really, involved in organizing and things like that and being advocates. And then I also have friends in the film world, and that like, I can talk film stuff with, and like it's interesting to have like pockets of friends. Those are really my only two pockets, though, are film or Native. That's pretty much it for me. Are you talking, April? Because if you are, I think you're on mute.
I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
talking. I'm
I thought
thinking.
I saw your.
No, sometimes I think like I don't want new friends. I have my friends. I have my friends that I could turn to. But then too, I think I need to, I think I need to be better in communication. Um, because I am a social person, and I do have many individuals that I can turn to. I just think it's like um, trusting individuals with the information that I provide to them is something that's very important to me. So I do have a inner circle, but I think also out of that, being able to step out of our comfort zones. So if you want friends in different capacities, that you actually need to step out of that comfort zone and be willing to say hi, hello, and how are you to individuals, whether it be at the grocery store or looking up. They have different types of societies or groups on like Yelp. So being able to do the work to get those friends that you're wanting is something that you need to do. But then how does that work for individuals that are shy? Can you believe that I'm a shy person and that I would be scared to do that because I'm scared to go places by myself? But I think just stepping out of comfort zones is how you start adult friendships and community. So all that said, that's my answer.
I've been in several situations where as an adult, like I remember when I went and the first day I showed up on the soccer field as an adult in this new group that I was in called the Futbolistas. Like I remember sitting in my car and just being like, am I really doing this? Like I don't know a single person. Like I am terrified. But everybody said that this was a cool group and like it's gonna be okay. And I just sat in my car for like 15 minutes, and I finally like got my butt out, and I went, and like ended up being really great. And I happened to be there on a day that another person was also their first day. And like so we connected and we became friends. And like I now that I look back on my life as an adult, I feel that prayer had a lot to do with it, because I when I came here, I was like, I just want to meet another Native American person here on the island. There's got to be somebody, out there. And of course I did, and she became like a really great friend. And so looking back on it, I'm like, I probably had like some divine, not intervention, but just, I guess intervention, but like, putting people at the right time, at the right place for me, because I prayed for it, I remember when I did meet Lene, that's the woman that I'm talking about. I had been really homesick. It was probably around the time that I was all crying to Glenn about how he had friends and I had none. And so I met her on Facebook, and it came right at the right time, because she was like in charge of like a Facebook page, and then like they changed the credentials. And so I had been talking to her through that. And so we exchanged phone numbers, and so we started texting and talking to each other on the phone. And I went back to try and reach her through Facebook, and like she told me like, oh, I'm not in charge of that anymore. So it's like, if I had just been like a day later or whatever, we would have never connected. And so I don't know, I'm just really like, now that I look back on it, I'm grateful that I have that relationship with the creator, of like just putting it out there, I want a friend. And then like it that opened a lot of doors for me, actually. And it really helped me like get over that whole self-pity part of me during that phase that I had. The end.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Again, just getting out of our comfort zone, being able to reach out to different individuals and step into a different part of us that is yearning for that friendship, and then making it happen as well.
Yeah,
That's it. Okay, that's the end of our questions. What else do we have?
I'm trying to think of something. I'll give an update about my short film.
I was just gonna suggest that.
It's going really great. I'm really excited for it. I was able to share it with a rough cut with a researcher who I talked to in the beginning of the process, back like in February, I think it was, Heather Torres. I think you both know her. So I talked to her because it has to do with MMIW, not completely, but like it has a part of it. And she gave me a lot of great resources and a lot of great tips. And so here we are all these months later, March, April. So 3 months later, and now like it's done. We shot it. It's right now going through color correction, and the composer has it. His name is Unci, and he is in New Mexico, I believe. And he is doing the music. He's an excellent musician. And I'm just like, it's like all coming together. And what's funny about it to me is Willie Sandoval, the uncle of Justine, I cast him in a project that I did, I think in 2019. And he played like this bad, like evil senator type guy. And so he asked me for the link to the film because he wanted to show it to some people. And I never really like put it out there. Like I submitted it to the contest. It was through CFC, collaboration challenge. I don't remember anyways, doesn't matter. The point is that I submitted it. But then I didn't like really put it out there. And so I just rewatched it now for like the first time since 2019. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my work has really changed since then. And it's like, it's nice to see the progress. And I guess, that's how you make progress. You just keep at it, just keep doing it. And eventually, you'll become more skilled at whatever it is that you're trying to do. But so that's the update. Again, June 15th is when it will premiere on the HFC Hawaii Filmmakers uh, uh, Collective Facebook page. I'll send more info about that. And both of you, your names are in the credits, FYI.
What? Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. I'm always here to support you, girl.
You helped make my dream come true.
You helped make my dream come true, too.
Aww. Now I'm going to get all teary.
No. Friends.
Friends.
How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on.
Let's be friends. Do you know that song, Teeny?
I do know that song.
Okay. No, I do, but I didn't want to join in.
I was gonna join in, but when I was gonna join in, I didn't hit unmute, and I would have had the wrong lyric anyways. So I would have had "Let's Be Friends" a little bit sooner.
Oh gosh.
So, do we want to give an update then? What else are you doing in Hawaii?
Not a lot. I mean, I also have that vampire movie that I've been talking about. So, we had a meeting yesterday about that. We working with this guy that's doing the special effects for us, and he's doing a really great job. So that's coming along. I want to write something. I don't know what, but like I definitely want to get another project done. So by the end of the year, I said I want to write something, but what I meant was I have to revisit the script that I wrote because the short film In Our Own Hands is from a feature film. So I got to go back to that script and, rewrite it, change it, update it. For the short film, we added an additional character that was not a part of the original script. So now I want to go back through and see how I can incorporate her into the feature film. So my goal is putting it out there. My goal is to get In Our Own Hands, the short film, out into the festival circuit and to be able to get enough financial backing behind it so I can make the feature film and then make the feature film and then get it out there into the world, whether streaming or in theaters or, however, just a res tour. I don't care, but I want to get it out there. So I'm really, really proud of In Our Own Hands. Like it's not even done yet. And like what we have so far without all the the music and the, all of it, I still absolutely love it. So I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for you all to see it.
I'm excited as well.
I'm excited too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I remember what happened on Instagram after the day after MMIW. I reposted your video when you just shared, and it was taken down. I thought that was so odd when all that post stuff started happening.
Yeah. I did not know that was happening until I got the email from, I don't remember who, but like one of the groups, maybe it was NVN, but one of the groups was had emailed me saying that sign on to this letter. And I was like, what the heck? Why did we ever find out why that happened or how that happened? What was going on there? Cause I don't know.
Instagram put out a post but saying that it was, I don't know. I don't want to not get them wrong, but I didn't even understand it. But supposedly it happened in different places in the world too. But yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
It was really weird. All of my posts were gone, like a majority of them. And I thought that was so weird.
It
I don't know.
is.
Did your post disappear or yours, April's?
I didn't post anything, but I did hear about the big old conversation that things were being disappeared or taken down. And I did see that Instagram did put something on after collective voices were shared about them taking down. And that is wrong, but I guess a glitch or something, which I don't even understand. But yeah, it's crazy.
There's no glitch. It was just they did it on purpose for whatever reason. Just like CNN called us something else. Like, you know, there's no one there at CNN or at Instagram to check them. So they don't think about it because what's going to be the repercussion? Oh, you're going to get a letter. Like, I mean, at least there was enough of us who sign on to that letter and like let it be known through social media what was going on. But like most of the time, I mean, I'm really glad that the Washington team changed their name. But like, look at how long we've been banging on that door before, you know, it's like they just don't, I guess, care. I don't know. I that's the only thing I can think of is like they just don't care. Like we don't matter. They're gonna call us something else. They're gonna erase our posts, and they just don't care. So I don't know what the solution is, but it makes me angry, and it keeps me. I want to say fighting, but I don't feel like I'm fighting. It just keeps me going. Just keeps me like. That's why I am, you know, wanting to get into film and television and like entertainment, the media, because I want people to see us. Like I want our stories to be told and I want to be seen. And like there's like this TikTok going around about this woman who was like, where are the Native Americans? Like, have you ever seen a Native American? And I was just like, who? Like, how could you? No words. I have no words. But there are people out there that totally don't think that we exist. And that is really upsetting and frustrating. And so I use that to, you know, to keep me going.
Mm-hmm. I remember one time I was in an Uber and I told the guy I was Native American and he looked at me like he double looked. Like when he saw me get in, right? He's like, then the conversation, he's all like, and I was just like, that was so weird. I was like, oh, you probably never met anyone like me before. Like, yeah, it's definitely different weird. Speaking of that, like representations, did you ladies? Yeah, did you all talk about Rutherford Falls? Or have you watched it?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
No, I did free trial, right? I forgot to cancel that, but it's on my to-do list. It was really good. I'll probably watch it again. But
is it because I thought they only released a few episodes and then they're gonna release more. So like is it all the episodes out?
On season 1, I watched 8. I think that's it, right? Is that all out?
Well, then now I'm in. I was like, I'm going to sign up once all the seasons are in. I mean, all the episodes are in there so I can like binge it. So I'll be doing that today.
Yes, it was so good. It's so good. We can talk about that next time. But I really enjoyed it. And we showed it at our monthly Nigel meeting. And they really enjoyed it too. And it was so cute. Well, it was nice that the youth was like, it was nice to see Native people in the present, like today, and that representation just really matters.
Totally, it does.
Wanted to chat about that because I thought it was really good.
Question though is when I've heard and I've seen all kinds of great things about it, but how do you get connected to it? So you said free subscription, but where would I go to find it?
Oh, it's on Peacock.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
It's a streaming service. I've never heard of it until this came out.
So you need to go to Peacock and download something, and then you can watch it?
You can get it on just Google Peacock.com and watch it on your computer, or you can download the app. Yeah, but you have to sign up for the services. I think it's a streaming service, so yeah. That's
Well, I'm
my plug
excited.
for it. Yeah, watch it. It's so good. It is so good.
I'm
I
going to
can't
watch
wait
it
to
after
see,
this.
Michael Gray Eyes.
Who just got nominated recently for
He
something?
won.
Oh, he
Yeah.
won something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Canadian. I don't know what the exact name of it is. I will tell you in 1 second. But I've been following him for years. So if you guys saw the movie Blood Quantum, well, I know you haven't, April, because that's not your cup of
Type of
tea.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But and I don't know about you, Teeny, but there's a film. It's called Blood Quantum, and it's really, really good. It's about native, like indigenous, I guess like the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse, and indigenous people are immune, so they can survive through the zombie apocalypse. But it's like it's like political, but there's like zombies and like action and all of it. But so he won the Canadian Screen award. So the Canadian Screen Award. So I'm assuming that is similar or as the like similar to us as far as the the Academy Awards or like the Emmys. So yes, he won.
Nice. Congratulations, Michael Gray Eyes.
hey, how awesome! I'm gonna watch that movie now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're definitely like Rutherford Falls, Averill. Because I remember one time saying y'all were talking about like Averill's movies are like rom-coms, and those are my movies. That's me.
Nice. I'll have to check it out.
It definitely has some little romance in it. I'm like, oh.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. I would love to see him in a romantic comedy, like a real, romantic comedy, like film. He would play that well, I think.
Cool.
What were you going to say, April?
I was going to talk about the things that I'm doing.
Please.
Okay, so if you all don't know, I co-host a show monthly called Paku Wellness Hour, and our next event is coming up on May 26th, and it features Jennifer Varenchek, woohoo! As well as it features Kylie Jones, who is a therapist with ICO, Indigenous Circle of Wellness. So if you are available on Wednesday, May 26th, please join us for our events. And actually, if you join us at bit.ly Paku Wellness May 26th, you are entered into a chance to win free $25 gift card. We have a lot of gift cards and we have a lot of gifts. So please join us not only for the gift cards, but for the amazing conversation that we'll be talking about. It's May and it's mental health awareness. So we're going to be talking about mental health wellness and COVID-19 education. So that's the first thing that I'm doing. The second thing is I am a board member of the American Indian Community Council, and I actually also am a entrepreneur with AC and Associates. So there was a young gentleman that I did a workshop for Paku. I'm sorry, not Paku, for Tachint, which is the youth empowerment of Paku Youth Empowerment Department. And we did a workshop on dream boards. And one of the things that this young man said was that he put on his dream board that he wanted to teach an art class. And I said, well, I'm going to help you. And this is the ending of it. So we're going to do a class beginning June 14th. And if you want to register, you can go ahead and register at bit.ly. It's case sensitive, so it's all uppercase. bit.ly/art and wellness 2021. And the first 20 people to sign up will be sending supplies to. And then there's also some great skills that will be learned, and some great individuals that have helped sponsored it, from UNILA, United Native Youth of Los Angeles, the American Indian Community Council, the Native American SEIU, and Tachint and Paku. So that's another thing that I'm doing. Also, one of the other things that I'm doing or helping with is class of 2021 for Indian Country. We're having a live graduation events, and we're asking individuals to upload a graduation photo or a 1-minute graduation video, whether it be the graduate or the family of the graduate. A shout out to your graduate by sending us a 1-minute video, and you can upload it at bit.ly/PakuGrad 2021. We're accepting videos and photos until June 4th at 5 p.m. And again, we'll have a lot of fun and a lot of raffles, and this will be on June 23rd. So those are just a couple of things that we'll be doing. And I don't know this individual, but Leslie Withers, she says, I enjoyed you ladies and conversation while I was driving. Please have an amazing rest of your day. Leslie, thank you so much for checking in and for your comment. I hope you are driving safely and not texting and driving, but we thank you for that shout out. Thank you so much. So those are a couple of things that I'm helping to host in Indian Country and in Los Angeles. Some other things that I actually got the amazing opportunity to work on was a GOAN, which is Gathering of Alaskan Natives. It's similar to Gathering of Native Americans, and it happened in Alaska, and I was able to help to make that happen through Tribal Tech. So I just wanted to shout out Tribal Tech, Don Lyons, and other great individuals like Nicole that have helped me help me with my small business. So thank you all for your support and love and friendship. That's it, the end. And we have about 4 minutes left.
I just wanted to thank Leslie. I know Leslie, she's TO, and I'm assuming that she still owns an incredible balloon business. And she had always been there for me when I first started as a consultant, and I would have events. I would call Leslie and she would totally help me out doing some great balloon art. So I'm so happy to hear from you, Leslie, and I'm glad that you're listening. So thank you.
Where is Leslie out of?
That's
when
a good
you knew
question.
her.
Yeah. She was, you know what? I can't remember. I want to say Whittier, but I don't know if that's
okay.
because of her last name Withers that like it's making me think Whittier, but I know that she wasn't in the Valley. She was in I don't know, but you know what? I'll see if I can find it and send you the info.
Okay, so going back to LA, it's always good to have connections, like a balloon person or individual. So if they're local, I would love to support if I can. And with stuff opening back up, we might have stuff available opening up to us soon. So yeah. Okay, guys, so we have about 2 more minutes. We can end now and just say thank you to everybody. Thank you guys for checking in and doing this. I know we'll meet again in June. So just looking up some dates of June, and yeah, then we'll be coming back and we'll let everybody know when we'll be back.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, ladies, it was nice to meet and have some time to chat, have some girl chat. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're watching live or if you'll watch on, after the live, thank you for joining us. Please, if you like to comment or share or subscribe, please do so. If you have any questions to what you might want to see or ideas or topics on some things, this is constant. So we will be doing it monthly. And we're just glad that everybody can hang out with us as we hang out.
Yep. I'm gonna go get Peacock.
Yay.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to rewatch it.
Okay. So thanks, guys, for checking in, and we will see you later.
Aloha.
Okay.